I went to a meeting about 3 weeks ago, and it was with the M4 project that is part of counties. If you know counties, I'm a counties evangelist. And what we had to do was think of 5 important words that defined who we are. And I was doing it with Tim Cracknell, and he only said one word. I said, that's it, we don't need any more. Just that one word. So I'm hoping, none of you got a piece of paper and a pen, did you? No, there we are. There is some at the back. But I know I need to whiz through this, because what I want to quickly talk about is, what is the pillar of your faith? And it'd be very easy to say, well, Jesus. It'd be to say, my faith, what I believe in. But I know I'm going to have to go quick, and it's, I wouldn't say it's quite a bit, but I want to whiz through it because I don't want to spend all morning. So, how should we live? And Paul modeled how we should live. And he says this, for you yourselves know you ought to follow our example. We were not idle when we were with you, nor did we eat anyone's food without praying for it. On the contrary, we worked night and day, laboring and toiling, so that we would not be a burden to any of you. We did this not because we don't have the right to such help, but in order to offer ourselves as a model for you to imitate. So let's get it right there, what Paul is saying. He realizes, listen, we're working night and day. We deserve paying for. We deserve payment. We deserve wages. We deserve to be looked after. But so that we're not a burden to you, we don't want anything. We're going to do it for free. So that's what he's saying. Hard work carried out with a servant heart. That's what Paul is saying. He didn't want money. And it's a bit like when I go into prisons, I haven't been for a while now, mind, an inmate might say to me, so how much do you get paid for doing this then? He's checking whether you get paid, whether it's your duty or whether it's your heart. And I know by experience that when I say I don't get paid, I do it voluntarily because I want to. I get roads into his life that the guy that's getting paid doesn't get. Because it's his duty, it's my heart. It's a massive difference. And that's what Paul is saying. And statistics actually say that 95% of mission is presence. That's an enormous statistic. We think that we all got to go ramming Jesus. No, it might work sometimes. But 95% of mission is presence. Paul is saying, my way of life agrees with what I teach. Now, if you've got a life that doesn't agree with what you teach, you're not winning anybody, because you're a liar. Your life has to measure up and it has to match. So your children see that you make mistakes, but your life matches what you teach. My children know what I'm like. I think I've said to you before, I used to give them advice, and then when I left the room, Fiona would say, no, whatever you do, don't do that. But they knew that my heart was right, that I was good. Okay, so I've given some of you pieces of paper with boxes on, and in that box, in that first one, this is what you need to write. I think. Is it going to work? Doesn't matter if it doesn't, I can do it. Oh, there we are. So you're going to write C in the box, and once you've done the first one, you'll be okay, because we're looking for the words. So you're going to write C, but this is what we need to be for Christ. We've got to be a Christ-like people. It's pointless. I put the words up there. I only done the PowerPoint to it last night because I thought, we don't spell, do we, anymore? We got the one we type it in and it spells it for us, so we forget what we're doing. But we have to be a Christ-like people. And Paul says he is an imitator of Christ. So if your leaders, you know what, in your heart are imitating Christ, be imitators of them. Because it's pointless imitating anything else, because it wouldn't be Christ-like. When we look at Jesus, what kind of person is he? Do you know we used to get that thing, WWJD, what would Jesus do? Well, what would Jesus say? Even down to watching films. Now, I said, if you're older like I am now, and I see some of the things that my kids sit down and watch, my days. And they don't bat an eyelid. And to me, I think, good, that's terrible. But it's changed in our culture, in society. Secondly, we have to have a heart. Now, most of us are probably married or been married, and I didn't, and you didn't grab your loved one by the scruff of the neck and say, you're going to marry me. And, you didn't threaten them to walk down the aisle. If you don't walk down the aisle, you're going to get one, I'm going to lamp you. It doesn't work. Do you know why you walk down the aisle with each other? Because you love each other, you had a heart. So when we're reaching people for the Lord, we don't do it because it's duty. We don't do it because we know they got to get saved, because what's going to come in eternity? It doesn't matter. We simply have a heart for people because they're people. I was sharing with Andrew earlier. Oh, they all know it. They all seem to know what it is. Right, I was the only one that didn't know. I only found out today. After 20 years, he doesn't like Andy. No. Someone doesn't like Andy, but sorry, I don't want to be facetious. But there we go. So we got our heart. Does the Lord have the final say in our hearts? Psalm 73:26 says this: my health may fail, and my spirit may grow weak, but God remains the strength of my heart. He is mine forever. So regardless what we go through in life, pain, suffering, struggles, is he first in your heart? Thirdly, you write that A in the box. Ability. Romans 16:25. Now all glory to God, who is able to make you strong, just as my good news says. This message about Jesus Christ has revealed his plan for you Gentiles, a plan kept secret from the beginning of time. Now I got to say, I'm going to do a talk on Mark's little thing about the skier going down the slope, because it took my mind a bit further, because when he said, the first thing you want to hope is that the skier in front can ski. And I was thinking, I hope his blooming radio don't fail. Because if you're not hearing the voice, and if you're not listening, you've got big problems. There's a lot of slopes to go off. So you want to make sure that you're being guided, because you're just not going to reach the end, do you? God has a plan. He's the one that gives. It was just a brilliant picture of how we want to place the Lord in front of us, to follow him. Is every step, because once we take a step out the way, we're out of his will. And whose plan are we following then? So how is he going to give us the ability to do things if we're not in his plan? We have to be in his plan and keep our eyes and our heart, on him. Next is the letter R, so stick that R. Oh, there's someone nodding there already, look. Yeah. I'm going to mix these up so it's a bit harder. Yeah, right. Yeah. Because if you've got that word, you already know that it encompasses everything about our faith. It encompasses everything about Jesus and who he is. One word. So it's, oops, am I cheating? I am. Role model. I went past it then. Can I get it back? Well, do I point it down? At the back. Oh, it's not working, yeah. It's role model. Now, I've had a few role models in my life. And I have to say that the best role models have been really men that have been after God. Their hearts have searched for God. And they've just been men that I've been able to look up to speak to about anything, regardless of how I felt. And I made them my role model. Because their heart for me was to see me grow in Christ, to become Christ-like. And I hope that I can be one of those people for those that I meet in my life. But in the Bible, we have Jethro, who is the father figure. We have Joshua, who is the apprentice. We have Jonathan, who is a listener, a friend, and someone you can share that anything with. Because I've learned in Reflect now that we have a number of men that meet, and they never talk to anybody about anything. They've just kept it all to themselves. They're not even sure how they're supposed to live, particularly with the things that men outside of church, what they speak about. No guidance whatsoever. And it's good to talk about those things. So it's good to have a role model. And the letter A, I should have asked them, yeah, and put the accountable on there as well. Oh, I can see that there, accountable on there. We really need to be accountable as people, as persons, individuals, and as churches. Only last week, Will and I, you know Will, because he comes to speak, we met with the pastor at Thornhill Church because we'd realized a little time ago that everything stops with us in the church. Just Will and myself. Any decisions, the money, everything. And it just didn't feel right. So we met with Andrew, Anthony, is it Hopkins? I can't think of Matt Hopkins. And we asked if we just want to come under the umbrella of Thornhill. There's no responsibility except we can come and meet with you and be accountable for what we're doing in the church. I know that George Verwer, and he travels around the world, what he used to do, he's got somebody called the gopher. And every time he used to stay in a hotel, he used to say to his gopher, because they sleep in different rooms, ask me what I watched on TV last night when I see you in the morning. Because we've got to be accountable. Because sin can take us to places we never dreamed we'd be. We think we won't get there, and all we think, good, how did that happen? But it does happen. And it happens to the best Christians. And the next one is going to be C, and that means we have to be committed. And Job 11:13 says this, so commit yourselves to God completely. Reach out your hands to him for help. Get rid of all sin you have. Don't let anything that is evil stay in your heart. We've seen many, many people say the prayer of salvation. Many people come to the front, sit, and you never see them again. Or you might see them for the good times, because, let me read it again. So commit yourselves to God completely, not a little bit. Referring to marriage again, you never turned to your spouse at the front and said, you know, I can commit myself a bit. Or, you know, as much as I'm comfortable, but there's just a little bit that I can't commit to you. It doesn't work. It's 100% commit. You're in it together. And that's what the Lord is saying here. Commit yourselves to God completely. Reach out your hands to him for help. Who's going to help us? Now, I know I'm beginning to sound older when I say things like this now, but as we do get older, we see things differently, and we see the world just falling to bits, falling to pieces. It's incredible. And where is our help going to come from? We've got to turn to the Lord. There's no one else to turn to except for him. Get rid of all the sin that you have. We can't keep it. It's got to be gone. He has to be first in our heart, above all things. And lastly, don't let anything that is evil stay in your tent. And I'm a tent, you're a tent. Don't let anything stay in there. And I'm quite big, actually. I speak often when I'm speaking to youth. What you watch makes a difference to you when you're older. I watched some terrible stuff when I was younger, and it sticks with me. Believe me, I wish I'd watch things, and it affects me. Now, a certain noise might happen on the TV screen or someone, and it brings back that memory, and I think, I wish I never watched that. It's serious stuff. Spiritual things that affect me when certain things happen. And I wish I hadn't watched those terrible, terrible things when I was younger, but I know I'm forgiven and still deal with it sometimes. Wish I had a lot more wisdom then. I was going to say than I have now, but it sounds like I'm... Okay, next letter is T, and we have to remain teachable. I can't stand people that know it all. Oh, you all know it-alls, don't you? No one's admitted to it. A couple of people come to my mind. You can't teach them anything. You can't say anything. They've already been there. They've already done it. You think, good, it's not even worth me talking to you because you know it all. They've got it all sorted. And they get right under my nose, and they do. So I try not to speak to them because they just bug me. But we have to remain a teachable people. Likewise, you who are younger are subject to the elders. Clothe yourselves, all of you, with humility toward one another. For God opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble. He opposes the proud, but gives grace to the humble. And the next letter is E, which, and I think this is so important in church, is to remain enthusiastic. Honestly, if we're not enthusiastic, if people come in and you're saying, yeah, I love the Lord, he's great. It's absolutely marvellous. And I love, being in church. It's the best place I come every week. That's not enthusiastic. And I don't mean you've got to jump up on the ceilings but we love the Lord. I love Jesus. He's the best thing that has ever happened to me. Being saved has changed my whole life. I'd probably be dead without Jesus. My whole life surrounds Christ because he is my life. He comes first, before my wife and children. Why does he come before my wife and children? Because he teaches me how I should treat them and how I should be a family with them. He teaches me everything. I seriously could not live life without Jesus, and I don't know how you do, if you do. I don't get it. With God, we'll render service as the Lord and not to men. With good we'll render service as to the Lord and not to men. So we're saying, whatever you do, do it unto God, not unto men. Don't look for glory in it. And Romans 12, not lagging behind in diligence, fervent in spirit, serving the Lord. Fervent in spirit. Positive and exciting. And it is. You can sing that 7 times a day, every week if you want to. And next time I come, I'll teach you to count to 8. Because there's another song as well. And lastly, has anybody got the word? There it is. Who got it first? Who got it on the CHA? You did. Oh, there's one. Yeah, see, on the R. On the R, there's a couple on the R. Okay, and then I got to spell them out. On the A. Oh, come on. Some of you never got it. Some of you are just not admitted to it. Okay. And the last one is respected. Show yourself in all respects to be a model of good works, and in your teaching show integrity and dignity. And people will respect you. I'm not rattling my cage because it's not my cage, but I do thank God, and I know it's the same here. Maybe people are too humble, or if that's the right word to use, in this place, but you have the same core of people, same family as we have in Reflect, and that is that we care for community and we do it because we love them. That's it. You don't need anything else because love is above all, and love will win. Slapping them on the back with a whip won't win them, but you can love them in, and it might take 20, 30 visits before they come, but they'll come.